guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a review, demo, swatch video on the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. I hemmed and hawed about whether or not I should do a video because at the moment this palette is limited edition and it's sold out. So I really don't like talking about products that you guys can't get. But a few of you have asked me if I purchased this and if I would talk about it, or a few of you have even purchased it and were looking for some kind of eye ideas. Not that I'm the most daring eyeshadow wearer, but I think you guys just wanted some ideas. So anyway, I'm going to do some swatches of this. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this palette. Show you a demo of this eye look, and if you're interested in any of that, then just keep on watching. So I was watching Makeup Struggles, who is one of my favorite YouTubers, and she was talking about how this palette is so ill-timed. Like, why would you come out with this color story in the summertime? And I think she has a very good point. This is a very kind of dark, grungy color story, but at the same time, I like that Melt just put out something that they liked, and just, who cares? Like, who cares what time of the year it is? And this is, I think, something based off of the owner of Melt. I think maybe she is a Gemini, born in June, and these are colors that she likes. So I'm just going to give a shout out to any of my knitters out there who are watching this. If you are plucky knitter fans, this is, if you are a scummy color lover, this is like the eyeshadow palette for you. I am personally like a huge fan of scummy colors, and for those of you who aren't knitters out there, it's just, we call them scummy colors in the knitting world, at least the plucksters do. And it's basically yarn that is in this kind of family, in this sort of like swampy green family. And there are people who love these colors, make sweaters out of them, everything, covered head to toe in these colors. And then there's the group of people that just don't like scummy colors. It's not their thing. So I am part of the scummy color lover club. And so when I started to see preview pictures of this palette before it was actually released, I was like, oh my God, I was immediately reminded of all the plucky knitter scummy colors that I love. So anyway, enough of that. If you're not a knitter, you're probably like, what on earth are you talking about? But suffice it to say that this color family is just up my alley in so many different ways. And I don't think I've ever come across an eyeshadow palette in this color family. I'm positive you can put together singles like this. I don't think that these colors are necessarily unique. I mean, they're colors that I like, so obviously I've seen them someplace. But to have them all in one palette, I think is fairly unique. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If there's another palette out there like this, please let me know, because I would probably like to purchase it. Why don't I go ahead and give you some swatches, and then I'll let you know what my thoughts are. So let's start over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to start with Luna, Gemini, and Lorelei. These shadows are so soft and buttery, so they're going to look really crumbly as I swatch them. And I feel like my experience, especially with really buttery, soft, wonderful matte shadows, they just don't swatch that well. I find that to be the case with Viseart shadows. I feel like Viseart shadows just don't swatch very well, but they apply so beautifully. So I just want you guys to take that into consideration as you look at my swatches. I think these swatch okay. I think they swatch fine, but I think that they apply so much better. So next we have Polka Dot, Cupcake, and Bonnie. So Polka Dot, Cupcake, and Bonnie. And then finally we have Leo, Goals, Fire OG, and Mochi. Goals, Fire OG, and Mochi. So there are all the shadows swatched. And again, I don't think you should look at these swatches and determine whether or not these are good quality shadows, because I don't think they tell the whole story. I think this is a dream sort of color assortment. I just really love it. So just to give you some background on this, this is the way the palette looks. This is like a cardboard package. There is a mirror on the inside. There's 10 pans. This folds back, so you can hold the palette like this. Just to show you the outer box here. that is what it looks like. So my experience with Melt Cosmetics is fairly limited. I have their Rust stack, the She's in Party stack, and then when I purchased the Gemini palette, I also purchased the Baby Girl stack. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Baby Girl stack, the one that's like super peach. It's still in the box. I haven't even played with it yet. But I was so super excited for this Gemini palette. I ordered it as soon as they released it the first go around. And I actually purchased the Baby Girl stack just to get free shipping because this palette I think is around $58, and you get free shipping at $75, and they had a sale on at least some of their stuff. I don't know about all of their stacks, but the Baby Girl stack I was kind of interested in, so it was marked down. I thought, all right, I'll just get it and I'll get free shipping. So that's what I did. The shipping time was It took a little while for it to actually, I think, leave their warehouse. I ordered it, got an order confirm, and then it took, I think, another 2 or 3 business days to get a shipping notification. And there was a weekend in between, so it felt even longer. And then after that, because I'm in Vegas and I believe they ship from California, it didn't actually take that long. Oh, I'm sorry, just to go back to my experience with melts. So I love the Rust stack. The Rust stack, those mattes in there are just stellar. They're really, really, I think, really easy to use. They're super pigmented, so you just have to be a little bit careful with your application. You don't want to go in, too heavy-handed at first. You want to kind of build up slowly. The She's in Party stack, it was okay. I had a little bit of an issue with like a couple of the colors in there, but the rest of the colors were really great. This palette, every single color, and I've used every single color now at this point, is amazing. Is absolutely amazing. I am by any means, I am no like eyeshadow expert, and every time I've worked with it, I feel like I've gotten a really fun, different, and like blended out and sort of beautifully blended kind of look, which is generally kind of hard to do, especially when you're layering so many different colors and colors that are so pigmented. I was really worried that these would get very, very muddy, especially considering the color family, especially considering how pigmented these shadows are. That was my main concern. So I find the quality of this palette, every single shadow in here, to be amazing. I don't think that there are any duds in here. So just to share some of my experience with you and this palette. So I tend to use natural haired bristle brushes. Those are the ones that I just always kind of gravitate towards. Those are the ones that generally work best for me. So I was using like my Hakuhodo J5523. It's this like flat paddle brush. I was also going in with this Chikuhodo T7 brush, which is like very similar. And these are both goat hair brushes. And I was also going in with my Tom Ford blending brush, which is another goat haired brush. So natural haired goat hair brushes, for me, pick up a lot of product. So when I was kind of going in with this, even while I was using a light hand, I was picking up like a little bit more product than I wanted. And so I was just sort of like laying down a little bit too much pigment at first, and I had to kind of really work to blend it out. So I downshifted and I started using more of my synthetic brushes, and you'll actually see it in my demo where I use mostly synthetic brushes until I get to the frosty color here. But synthetic hair brushes, I think, personally, again, work great for the matte shades in here, and there are 8 matte shades in here and 2 frosty shades. So Gemini and Goals are the 2 frosty shades, which you saw in the swatches. But the synthetic hair brushes, because they're so soft and they're a little bit slicker than natural hair brushes, it was almost like goof proof. I couldn't pick up that much product. I would go in really lightly and then just work it onto my eye really lightly, and I feel like they worked better than my natural hair brushes. So again, you'll see it in my demo where I kind of focus my brush usage on, I think I use like some Zoeva, Elf, and Sigma brush. I love the way the shadows behaved, and I love the way that this particular look came out. I'm so happy. I'm like so happy with this palette. I really, really hope they restock it. So I would say if you're a beginner, or if you're just someone who's just not that, like I'm just not that great with eyeshadow, to go in with a synthetic haired brush, because you're just not going to be able to pick up that much product. I used a natural hair brush for Goals in the demo, because I wanted to be able to pick up this sort of glittery color. I didn't want to have to use my finger, and I didn't want to have to use Fix Plus. I just wanted to give you guys a sense of the shadow all on its own without any help. So that's my experience with these shadows. So Melt, can you please bring back this palette? Can you please make it permanent? I think this is awesome, and if you're gonna insist on making it limited edition, if you do bring it back, I am thinking about getting a backup. I like this palette so much. So anyway, those are the swatches, basically my review on these shadows, and if you're interested in the demo, then just keep on watching. So I'm gonna start by going in with the lightest matte shade. This is the Luna shade, and I'm gonna use my Zoeva 227 Soft Definer brush, and I'm gonna place this on the outer corner here, work that into my socket area, and just slowly start to warm up the eye. Next I'm going to take a very similar brush. This is the Sigma E25 brush. I just have it in like this little travel size, but it's a very similar shape to the Zoeva brush that I was using, and I just want to kind of continue warming up the outer corner and the like crease socket area of my eye. So I'm going to go in with Polka Dot, which is the fourth color in here, and basically do the same thing, just deepening it up a little bit. Next I'm going to go into Leo, which is this dark army green, and just sort of place that on the outer corner of my eye, deepen it up a little bit with this green color. And I'm using a Zoeva Petite Eye blender, the number 223, and it has like a round kind of dome top, and I like that if I just want to very in a concentrated way build up a color. Oh my god, I'm sorry. So my friends in New York are going to the strawberry drag queen ball thing tonight, and my friend just got her makeup done at Sephora to go. Oh my god, she looks amazing. They're not even ready for me, Hunty. That's what she I wish I was there. I wish I was going to a drag ball tonight. Sorry for that little interruption. We were working with Leo, and I was talking about this this brush from Zoeva. I just really like it because it's like a teeny tiny buffing brush basically, and so you can just work the color in if you want to really focus it somewhere, and I just use circular motions, and I really just want this Leo color right on the outer corner just to deepen it up a bit. Okay, so there is Leo on the outer corners there. Now I want to go in and really fill up the lid with something really sparkly. So I'm going to use Goals, which is the green sparkly color. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Sonia G Builder 2 brush. I like this brush for these sparkly colors because it kind of mimics a fingertip. Love this color. Now I'm going to go in with like a really fluffy synthetic brush. This is the e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm going to go into Mochi, and I want to just kind of blend out the line here of that Goals color I just put down. Now I feel like my outer corners aren't dark enough, so I'm actually going to go between Leo and Bonnie, which are the matte dark green and the black. And then with my Sonia G Smudger 2 brush, I'm going to go into Leo, which is that dark matte green, and I'm going to line my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the same brush, I'm going to go back into Goals, which is the metallic green, and basically going to do the same thing, but just line right underneath there, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. So that's it for the eyeshadow palette. Let me put on the rest of my face and I will be right back. Alright, I am back. I put on some of the Pat McGrath Divine Brown Matte Trans Lipstick, which I love, for this very summery look. Just kidding. I mean, as I told you guys in the intro, I really, really love this eyeshadow palette. It's just, I love the colors. I think they blend really well. You saw in the demo that they just work beautifully, and all the colors work beautifully together. When I first played with this palette, I used more of these kind of warmer browns. I didn't venture too much into the green, mustardy yellow colors over here, and I just think they all look awesome together. And I think for someone who doesn't normally do like a really colorful eye, this is, I mean, I don't want to say it's neutral because it's far from neutral, but it is like a, because it's such a kind of like scummy, color family, I don't feel like, I feel like this is very different from like yellow and turquoise and bright pink. So I feel like this is a very wearable color. I hate saying that. I hate saying wearable because I feel like that is so subjective, but for me, it is a very wearable kind of colorful look. So anyway, I really hope they restock this palette. The last time I looked, it was sold out. I think it's sold out 2 or 3 times at this point. I would even buy like a stack of this, like a 10 stack of this eyeshadow palette. I mean, I think it's amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.